Today we're talking about women and their accountability for their own choices. Welcome back to The Division. Once again, my name is Jeremy Cash. Help a paralyzed veteran out. Get me to 1,000 subscribers. We got my boy Frank from the Podheads.
Yes, sir.
They're on all social medias, all the platforms. So if you're looking for a podcast to listen to, it's not just about weed. They just smoke while they talk about different topics, but they talk about a ton of topics. So make sure you check them out on all the different platforms. I wanted to have him come in today and respond to this video because of the fact that I'm not a dad and I don't have to pay child support, and I never had to. So I don't really have too much of perspective from what this video is about. But let's get into it real quick.
I get comments like these every time I make a video about fathers having 50-50 custody. There's always someone who comes in and says most dads couldn't handle 50-50 custody, or like her, imply that most don't want it. And I guess my question to all of you ladies who are saying things like this is, why are you having children with these men? I'm serious, because how is it that most men who become fathers also happen to be these terrible deadbeats who are just completely unfit to be parents? Or are they only becoming unfit after the breakup? It just seems really convenient that these men are good enough for you to sleep with over and over and over again, knowing what that action may result in. Yet when a life is brought into this world as a direct result of your continued choices, suddenly you didn't know what kind of a man you were with? Or is it that when you're put in a situation where you have to share authority, where you're no longer in control, and where he no longer wants you, that's when he becomes unfit? Could it be when you learned how much more child support you get when you get more overnights? That's when he magically became unfit. Maybe it's when you find out that you can claim the kids on your taxes every year instead of every other year if you have sole custody. Maybe that's when he became unfit. I'm sure for a lot of you who make more than your husbands, upon finding out that with 50-50 you'd be paying him child support, I mean, he's got to become unfit at that point, right? Look, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, assault survivors obviously aside, you get to pick your baby daddies. You're the final gatekeepers, and you have infinitely more options for birth control, so you are the final authority when it comes to whether or not that child comes into this world. So at the end of the day, you can't all be victims. You just can't. At the end of the day, most of you chose perfectly fine men to have children with. It's just that you didn't work out. And instead of accepting that, some of you guys are just resorting to absolute violence. I mean, geez, if you're so comfortable saying things like most men are unfit, most men don't want their kids, how about we see how comfortable you feel when I say things like, most women don't plan their pregnancies responsibly. Most women aren't getting to know men before sleeping with them. Most women can't take accountability for their own actions. These comments should be good.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with most of those statements. I mean, she kind of hit the nail on the head, if you ask me, talking about how women try to take advantage of the situation once they realize that they have something to gain out of it.
Especially whenever they start talking to their moms or their aunts or their sisters.
Putting stuff in their
whoever,
head, yes.
Or like their friends who already went through this, and they're like, oh, you can get this much more money if you do this. And then they start thinking of it from that aspect of things instead of just thinking about, like, how is this going to affect the child?
What's best for the kid, exactly. No, a lot of times, when someone splits up, there's a lot of emotions going on. I think that many people can say that childbirth, relationships, breakups all affect people on an extra heightened level in terms of emotions when it comes to women, both men and women. But we know that, without saying that women are emotional creatures, not what I'm saying, but we know that physiologically, events like that affect women emotionally, usually a little bit more than men. That being said, a lot of them times act extremely irrational. And videos like this, I'm sure they don't want to hear, but they're freaking absolutely true. Yeah. I went through similar experience in the beginning of, closer to a split up with one of my son's mothers. and things kind of calm down over time. So that's what I mean. You know, when you have heated emotions and people in their ears, they tend to not do the logical thing. But then when it comes down to courts, luckily men, most times you have an opportunity to kind of prove what what kind of person you really are.
Even though the courts are really stacked against men in a lot of the situations.
Hell yeah. Been there
really
too. Been there too.
Because like, here's one thing that I don't agree with at all. If a woman is receiving alimony and child support, and they don't work and receive any other form of income at all, and they literally use that money to pay for the house and the kids and everything else, why the fuck aren't the kids with that father?
Yeah,
who actually has enough money to pay for all of that?
There's this like automatic
pay for his own life separate from them,
automatic
and else.
misconception.
Whenever this bitch doesn't do shit at all, and she couldn't provide for them if it wasn't for the amount of money she was giving from this random dude that she decided to fucking take advantage of because she knew she could fucking take him to the court and.
Well, they're both taking advantage of each other. They're both using each other.
I've seen
one
women
for
get like
sex,
$4,000
one
month,
for
bro.
money.
Like, that's 50 G's a year that she's getting for their children.
Some people
and
know
then
how to work the
has the
system.
audacity to ask for like, will you pay for the kids' haircuts this weekend? No, bitch. I give you the money to fucking pay for that. That's what child support is for. It's for kids. Yeah. It's for their clothes. It's for their food. It's for their haircuts. It's for everything. It's to take care of the children. And if you're not using that money in that way, then you're fucking up as a fucking mom.
Some people know how to work the system, bro, but you can't judge them all based on those outliers, those individuals. You know what I mean? Well, I think most people, I think most people tend to agree that, there's this common misconception that women should automatically have custody of the kids. And I think that's complete bullshit. I don't agree 100%.
I think whoever makes more money should be able to get the choice if they want to have the kids or not.
I think whoever has
more money is
able to provide the better life.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure. And it doesn't always come down to money. You know, maybe somebody who's got a lot of money is never around. You know what I mean? But I think ultimately these things should be put under a lot more scrutiny than just, the woman comes in complaining about the guy. You know, we're going to go ahead and give her custody. We're going to give her whatever she wants. Because I think that does happen in a lot of cases. Yeah,
it definitely does. I've seen like a lot of guys on TikTok breaking down crying. Like, I just got my court hearing back today and I lost custody of my kid. Like, they took him away from me, basically. And, like, I never, ever see women being like, they took my kid away unless they did something fucking insane, like left on a fucking drug bender and fucking never came back or some shit. It's like...
And, you know, there's another misconception about guys, too. A lot of times these guys do go to court, myself in particular, go to court fighting, requesting custody, trying, like you said, to get custody, trying to get rights.
It was like saying that like most of the men don't want to have full custody.
Yeah, no, that's not true at all. A lot of them try, a lot of them attempt to and don't. A lot of them get discouraged by the system and the ridiculous rules that it makes. I tell you what, me personally, I'm of the mindset where there's no excuse. I'm going to try and spend as much time with my kids as possible. However, the courts didn't make that easy on me. My original freaking arrangement for custody was I had to pick up the kid. I got every other weekend and some holidays, and I had to pick up the kid, drop the kid off. Didn't matter where the kid was or how far I had to drive.
So you only got to see your kids like 2 weekends a month?
Yeah, and I still had to pay child support, even though she made more money than me at the time.
Fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, so I even got thrown in jail once because I had just had surgery, couldn't work, couldn't pay child support. And when I went to the court to try to explain that, they threw my ass in jail. Yep. So, you know, I didn't leave a bad taste in my mouth. At this point, no, because I'm past all that stuff and I have custody of my kids.
You're not a criminal in any other way. Like, so,
guys get a raw treatment.
This is the way that you get criminalized. Like, and they do this purposefully. This is the reason why, again, America never abolished slavery, man. They just changed it to where you can only be a slave if you're a criminal.
Yeah, give it 20 years.
And then they give it ways to make the fucking men who are fucking fully abled to go ahead and put them in fucking prison. That you can get more bodies and more men and fully able people in prison to make their fucking whatever the fuck you make in prison, license plates or whatever the fuck.
It's a business, The jail system is 100% a business, and the child support system, that whole system is part of it. Yeah. It's 100% part of it because the county gets their cut too. Yep. So they are all too fast.
Wages, they do all
exactly.
All sorts of things.
They're all too fast to get in on it. The best bet, really, people, is like she said in the video: be careful about who the hell you have kids with. Don't have sex until you know the damn person. And for fuck's sake, wrap it up, please, because there's way too many people out here, like she said, giving birth to people and then regretting it. Well, goddamn, learn something,
guys.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's a great note to finish on.
Until next time. It is a great way to finish off. Watch these videos over here and subscribe over here. Leave comments down below so we can get a discussion and let me know which side of the division you're on.